Good evening and welcome to the DebtCircle Sundown Brief. I am your host Leela. Let's begin with the top 5 highest yield listed corporate bonds traded today. Samunnati Finance Private Limited recorded a yield of 145.16% with a trade value of 0.01 lakh rupees. Ambium Finserv Limited recorded a yield of 122.07% with a trade value of 0.20 lakh rupees. Neogen Fintech Limited recorded a yield of 89.58% with a trade value of 0.01 lakh rupees. Navi Finserv Limited recorded a yield of 27.99% with a trade value of 0.10 lakh rupees. Another issuance from Navi Finserv Limited recorded a yield of 22.99% with a trade value of 0.01 lakh rupees. Now moving to the top 5 highest yield unlisted corporate bonds. Anthea Aromatics Private Limited recorded a yield of 18% with a trade value of 26 lakh rupees. Branch International Financial Services Private Limited recorded a yield of 16.50% with a trade value of 12 lakh rupees. Mapocket Financial Services Private Limited recorded a yield of 15% with a trade value of 1000 crore rupees. Apex Homes Private Limited recorded a yield of 14% with a trade value of 3,534.27 lakh rupees. Navi Limited recorded a yield of 12.02% with a trade value of 20 lakh rupees. Let's now look at mutual fund debt transactions. Gross purchases stood at 26,025.70 crore rupees. Gross sales stood at 32,735.39 crore rupees. Net investment for the day stood at negative 6,709.69 crore rupees. Net investment for April month to date stands at negative 15,029.370 crore rupees. Moving to foreign portfolio investor debt market investments. Under the general limit category, gross purchases stood at 204.26 crore rupees, while gross sales stood at 129.18 crore rupees. Under the VRR category, gross purchases stood at 1,143.45 crore rupees, while gross sales stood at 357.82 crore rupees. Under the FAR category, gross purchases stood at 2,371.31 crore rupees, while gross sales stood at 2,706.99 crore rupees. Net investment under the general limit category stood at 75.08 crore rupees. Net investment under the VRR category stood at 785.63 crore rupees. Net investment under the FAR category stood at negative 335.68 crore rupees. For April month to date, net investment under the general limit category stands at negative 739.64 crore rupees. Under the VRR category, month-to-date net investment stands at 1,396.32 crore rupees. Under the FAR category, month-to-date net investment stands at 3,727.11 crore rupees. For calendar year 2026 year-to-date, net investment under the general limit category stands at negative 4,035 crore rupees. Under the VRR category, year-to-date net investment stands at negative 8 crore rupees. And under the FAR category, year-to-date net investment stands at 13,935 crore rupees. Now let's look at money market rates. The call rate stands at 5.18%. The term repo rate stands at 5.10%. Basket repo stands at 5.15%. And the special repo rate stands at 4.96%. Moving to India government bond yields. The 1-year government bond yield stands at 5.86%. The 3-year yield stands at 6.38%. The 5-year yield is 6.69%. The 7-year yield stands at 6.91%. The 9-year yield is 6.87%. The 10-year yield stands at 6.98%. The 15-year yield stands at 7.28%. And the 30-year yield is 7.53%. Now to Treasury bill yields and auction cutoffs. The 91-day Treasury bill yield stands at 5.29%. The 182-day Treasury bill yield stands at 5.50%, and the 364-day Treasury bill yield stands at 5.69%. Let's now review liquidity indicators. Net liquidity injected stands at negative 2,45,807 crore rupees. The standing deposit facility stands at 0 crore rupees, and the marginal standing facility stands at 42 crore rupees. Moving to MIBOR OIS rates. The 1-year rate stands at 5.89%. The 2-year rate stands at 6.12%. The 3-year rate stands at 6.31%, and the 5-year rate stands at 6.55%. Now to modified MIFOR rates. The 2-year modified MIFOR stands at 6.86%. The 3-year rate stands at 6.91%. The 4-year rate stands at 0%, and the 5-year rate stands at 7.25%. Let's now look at currency markets. The US dollar to Indian rupee exchange rate stands at 94 rupees and 49 paise. The euro to Indian rupee exchange rate stands at 111 rupees and 13 paise. The British pound to Indian rupee exchange rate stands at 128 rupees and 60 paise. The Japanese yen to Indian rupee exchange rate stands at 60 paise, and the Chinese yuan to Indian rupee exchange rate stands at 13 rupees and 89 paise. Moving to commodities and market indices. Gold, 24 carat 999 purity, is trading at 15,268 rupees per 10 grams. Silver is trading at 2,750 rupees per 10 grams. Crude oil is trading at $100.59 per barrel. The Sensex closed at 77,328.19 and the Nifty closed at 24,180.65. Now to India's primary corporate bond issuances. Midland Microfin Limited has announced a bond issuance of 2 crore rupees with a tenure of 120 months and a coupon of 10.75%. The issue has been rated A- by Equity Ratings and Research Limited. Mindspace Business Parks REIT has announced a bond issuance of 500 crore rupees with a tenure of 121 months and a coupon of 7.63%. The issue has received AAA ratings from both CRISIL Ratings Limited and ICRA Limited. That concludes today's DebtCircle Sundown brief. This is Leela, signing off.